The episode opens with Ichika appearing in court for a hearing before shifting back in time to her second year at Asuran Academy, when the girls' campus was merged with the boys'. Ichika explains that this decision was due to inflation and the low birth rate. Ichika's friend Ama alerts her that the boys have arrived. This triggers a memory of when Ichika once met a boy named Ryugo at the hospital after her mother was admitted with a back injury from work. Ryugo explains that he is there visiting his own mother, who had suffered a broken bone. As they wait through the night for their mothers, Ichika and Ryugo spend time talking and getting to know each other. In the present day, Ryugo is portrayed as a popular athletic student who plays basketball and often flirts with girls. During a school assembly, Principal Ikushima, who is a scary authority figure, addresses the students and announces a new no-romance rule. The students are left stunned when Ikushima explains that any romantic relationships with the opposite sex are strictly forbidden, both on and off school grounds. She warns that anyone caught breaking this rule will be expelled immediately, without any warning. When a student asks if they are allowed to fall in love, the principal chillingly clarifies that while they can have feelings, those feelings must never be expressed or acted upon. After the assembly, Ryugo invites Koharu and her friends to a karaoke bar. Koharu's friend Ayami asks Ichika if she would like to join them, but Ichika declines. Ryugo recognizes Ichika and is excited to see her. Around the same time, Mr. Maki, Ryugo's father, the governor, and the school's trustee, visits the school. He is shocked by Ikujima's new rule and discusses it with her, along with plans for the merger of the two schools. Mr. Maki introduces Ikujima to his older son, Haruto, who will be working at the school as a teacher. He also watches his younger son, Ryugo, play basketball and is embarrassed by his behavior during the game. Meanwhile, Ichika's father visits her mother at work and demands that Ichika be removed from the elite school. Ichika's mother becomes upset, throws him out, and tells him to pay child support instead of forcing his views on their daughter. Instead of going to the karaoke bar, Ichika spends the evening with her friend Emma. At the bar, Sawa attempts to kiss Yuzuki, but Yuzuki pulls away, leaving Sawa embarrassed. Later, Mr. Maki angrily disciplines Ryugo at home for his behavior at school and warns him to control himself. At the same time, Ichika's mother apologizes to her for not being able to provide the wealthy lifestyle her classmates have. The next day at school, Ryugo and Ichika share a brief moment, but Ichika quickly pulls away. Soon after, the students receive a shocking notification announcing that 2 students have been expelled for having a relationship outside school grounds. Following this, Ichika begins avoiding Ryugo, which confuses him. Haruto notices Ryugo's interest in Ichika and tries to warn him. Yuma is elected president of the student council, upsetting Sawa, who is demoted to vice president. She complains to Yuzuki, the council secretary, claiming she was demoted because she is a girl. Ichika and Atsushi introduce themselves as the joint heads of the accounting department. After the meeting, Atsushi overhears a teacher reminding Ichika to ask her mother to pay her overdue school fees. Ichika is embarrassed but tries to brush it off. Atsushi later apologizes for overhearing and the two talk briefly. As Ichika leaves, Atsushi secretly takes a photo of her, revealing that he has several pictures of her saved on his phone. On her way out, Ichika catches Ryugo and Koharu kissing. She tries to warn them before they are caught by teachers. Koharu thanks Ichika and offers to pay her for helping them. Ichika refuses, accusing Koharu of offering money only because she thinks Ichika is poor. However, when Ichika returns home, she learns that her father has taken out a joint loan using her mother's name. Loan sharks confront Ichika and demand repayment, and a lawyer later informs her mother that she is legally responsible because she signed the documents without reading them. That evening, Ryugo hosts a party for his classmates. Sawa becomes jealous when she sees Yuzuki dancing with Yuma and lashes out at him. Haruto arrives home and tries to shut down the party but is distracted by Ayami, who takes him to a private room and kisses him. Meanwhile, Koharu brings Ryugo to meet Ichika and pays her to keep their relationship secret. Ryugo is shocked to realize that Ichika is accepting the money. Atsushi also witnesses Ichika taking the payment as the episode comes to an end. The next episode begins with Chihiro looking for another job. Meanwhile, Ichika uses the money to pay her tuition. Chihiro tells Ichika that she found a new job, to which she is surprised and tells her to prioritize her health and not to worry about her tuition because she has received a scholarship, which is false. Chihiro is suspicious, but Ichika convinces her. Chihiro praises Ichika for getting the scholarship, and we see Ichika try to save money every day. She even refunds her commuter pass and rides her bike to school instead of taking the train. Meanwhile, at school, the teachers tell Ikujima that the male and female students had started bonding, and it would be difficult to monitor their interactions outside the school premises. In class, the students talk about Sawa's actions toward Yuma at the party. Yuzuki ignores Sawa as we get a flashback from the night before. Yuzuki tells Sawa to apologize to Nashiki, to which Sawa asks her if she loves him. Yuzuki denies it and states that she also doesn't have any romantic feelings towards Sawa, to which the latter is heartbroken. Haruto comes to his senses and pushes Ayami away, stating that he was caught off guard when she lied about her age when they met on a dating app. He breaks off their 3-month-long relationship, stating that he is worried that she'll be expelled. Ayami watches Haruto as he speaks to his students. Ichika asks the teachers if she could get a scholarship, but they refuse. Koharu tells Ryugo that she paid Ichika of her own accord. They talk about their kiss, and they both agree to forget about it. Ryugo asks Koharu why Ichika accepted the money. Koharu replies by telling him that she is poor. At school, Ichika tries to look for a way to support her mother financially without getting a part-time job, as that was also against the school's policy. Later that day, Ryugo goes to apologize to Ichika for what he said at the party. He said that he didn't know that she was poor and offers to pay hush money too, to which she declines, feeling offended, and leaves. Ima inquiries about what Ichika was talking to Ryugo about and say that she broke up with her boyfriend. The two bond over ramen, as Ima says that she'll soon move abroad like her mother. At Atsushi's house, he's having dessert with his parents, when his mother asks about school and Ichika, which ends up ruining the mood and making things awkward between them. At the Maki household, the governor and Haruto scold Ryugo for having a party while Thrai were gone. Seeing how unremorseful he is, the governor drops a glass for Ryugo's mom to pick up as his punishment. We learn that Ryugo wants to go abroad to study, but he doesn't want to leave his mother alone with his dad. Mrs. Maki tells him to prioritize his future. Sawa scrolls through pictures of her and Yuzuki, neglecting to study for her exam. The next day at school, Sawa struggles with the exam and tries to cheat by using her phone, but Ichika catches her in the act. After the exam, Ichika tells Sawa that she won't snitch on her, but the latter reacts harshly, thinking that Ichika is making fun of her, and stomps out of the class. Emma ditches Ichika during break to study to go abroad. Meanwhile, Asuka tries flirting the school counselor, Yuki. He claims to be attracted to older women. Yuki tries to draw the line between them and asks Asuka to use the student-teacher messaging app, School Post, to talk to her. He starts booking more counseling sessions to meet her. Yuki keeps deleting the requests as they show up. However, the portal shows a new photo of Ima with her boyfriend outside a motel. Yuki takes the photo to the principal, who starts questioning Emma about her meeting. Ima confesses that she only met her ex to end their relationship due to the new rules of the school. However, Ikushima asks if Emma had physical relations with her boyfriend at the motel. Emma states that her ex wanted to be alone with her one last before their breakup and that they didn't have physical relations. The principal demands to see her phone and finds pictures proving that they had sexual relations. Ima's mother arrives and hits her. Ikushima expels Ima from the school despite her requests. Sawa feels guilty for snitching on Emma on the portal. Honestly, Emma is gullible because that boy definitely isn't waiting 2 years for her just because she let him hit. Ichika breaks down and tries to plead with the principal, but the principal refuses to give in. She claims that the students of the school need to learn to refrain from giving in to their desires and calls students that don't do that stupid. Ryogo notices Ichika's state and tries to cheer her up. Ichika shares how Ima's dreams of bringing her family back to wealth and studying abroad had been shattered and that he could never understand that because he is rich, and she storms out of the classroom. After school that day, Ichika meets Ima and tries to console her. Emma keeps her head high and the two friends hug and sob. As the days go by, Yuki tells the principal that many students are tracking their classmates outside the school premises. The principal sees this as an opportunity and asks Yuki to get the members of the student council to start patrolling outside motels to catch the student breaking school rules. The student council members start a rabbit hunting spree. Some students are against the rabbit hunting. Sawa is enthusiastic about this because her love life is miserable. If my love life was that miserable, I would also break people up. Meanwhile, Ayami meets Haruto in the upstairs library and they make out. He also continues to date the student counselor, Yuki, who is a good fit in their family as per his father's standards. That night, Ryugo goes home and finds Mr. Maki throwing a fit and abusing Mrs. Maki. He tells Ryugo that he called the agency and canceled his trip to the US and that he should stay in Japan. He also got a full refund and took Mrs. Maki's hard-earned money. They both argue, and Ryugo gets upset and storms out. Meanwhile, Ichika is stuck patrolling outside motels with Sawa when Ryugo calls her the school's lapdog. She tries to contact Ima but does not get through to her. The loan sharks hound Ichika and her mother. They even go to her workplace and harass her. Ichika goes to Ima's house but sees that she has moved. She finds the dream board Ima had made. Ichika tells herself that she will be taking on Ima's dream and will strive to graduate from Asuran Academy. The episode ends with Ichika anonymously blackmailing the couples and extorting money from them. The next episode starts with the council members talking about how students are snitching on each other on the student portal and Ichika overhearing it. Ichika plants a spy camera in Yuki's office and learns her password to the student portal. The next day, she goes to school early and sneaks into the counselor's office when Yuki has a day off and takes photos of the new couple's submissions that are sent on the portal and steals it. Ichika deletes the submissions from the portal and texts the couples, blackmailing them to pay money if they do not want to be exposed. She uses the pseudonym Lovekeeper and asks the students to leave cash in a locker at the train station. Once the students have left, Ichika takes the money and uses it for her school fees as well as to repay the loan sharks. One of the couple's submissions features Ryuogo, who is currently at a karaoke when Ichika texts him, asking him to pay up to keep his romance a secret. He is unbothered and even snitches on himself on the student portal. Even after several days, Ryuogo does not respond to Ichika's threat and she does not delete the submission from the student portal. At the school choir club, Toda and Irisawa start developing feelings for each other, but Toda's friend doesn't like boys and sees them as competition. Meanwhile, Sawa fetches Yuzuki to go on patrol and actively ignores Nashiki. While on patrol, Sawa bothers Yuzuki by telling that she should be honest and say that she likes Nashiki, even though she denied it multiple times, and Yuzuki tells Sawa that she is no longer comfortable being her friend and calls her narrow-minded. At the same time, Yuki takes a bunch of relationship submissions to the principal. The principal keeps Mr. Maki's donation to the school in mind and ignores Ryuogo's relationship. Toda and Irisawa's romance blossoms when the two sing a duet together. Meanwhile, the principal instigates Sawa and asks her to take much stricter actions to catch the students who are engaging in romance. In the choir club room, after singing as a duet, Irisawa asks Toda to record her singing, to which the latter cheerfully agrees. The student council has a meeting to increase patrols, but Yuzuki doesn't agree and argues with Sawa. After the student council meeting, Yuzuki tries to make small talk with Atsushi and asks if he has feelings for Ichika, but the latter denies and asks Yuzuki to mind her own business. That night after school, Ayami gives Haruto a birthday present and they have physical relations in his car. The principal asks Yuki to ignore the couple's submissions about Ryugo. The next day, Ichika sees more submissions about Ryugo and is shocked to learn that he was being excused by the no romance rule because of his privilege. She sends another warning to him as Lovekeeper to see if she can extort money from him. That evening, Yuki and Haruto go out on a date and he seems disinterested in her. Meanwhile, Irisawa and Toda are about to kiss in the choir room when someone snaps a picture of them. Toda is scared that she will be expelled now. Ryugo talks to Haruto that night and asks if he is pulling strings to make sure he is not expelled from school. He states that he was hooking up with so many girls because he wanted to be kicked out of the school. Haruto states that he did not want their father to be troubled because he asks Ryugo to stop trying to get expelled. Ryugo sees the note asking Haruto to meet with Ayami at the library. The next day, Ryugo texts Lovekeeper and agrees to pay them to keep his relationship a secret. Ichika collects the bag from the locker and goes home. That was a stupid move on her part because Ryuogo follows her home and calls her out for trying to extort money from students. Ryugo states that he had placed a GPS tracker in the bag. The moneylenders show up to collect their due and Ryugo apologizes to her for acting out. He asks Ichika to share the extorted money with him in exchange for his help. Ichika agrees and allows Ryuogo to join her as she collects the money from the locker after Irisawa and Toda leave it there. The two split the money in half and start their journey as business partners. Ichika and Ryugo steal the key to the counselor's office, but almost get caught until Ryugo distracts the teacher and Ichika escapes. They have a cute moment before they head into the office. The episode comes to an end as they happily walk around the school. The next episode begins with Ichika's mother, Chihiro, showing up to school for class observations, much to Ichika's shock. She is proud to see Ichika deliver a presentation in class along with her classmates. Chihiro asks to meet Ichika's teacher to thank her for the alleged scholarship she had received. Ichika panics that her lie will be exposed, but Ryugo saves her by stating that the teacher was not in school that day. On her way out, Chihiro meets Mrs. Maki and the two women chat as they run into Atsushi's mother, Mrs. Kanda. Chihiro is shocked to see her there, and the two awkwardly greet each other as they leave. Ryugo tells Ichika that they were doing this Lovekeeper thing wrong. He claims that they should gain the students' trust by telling them that they are on their side. Ichika pays of her father's debt, while Asuka suspects that Ryugo is dating a girl since he seems happier than usual, to which the latter denies. Ichika gifts her mother lipstick, and Chihiro points out how she looked good with Ryugo. Meanwhile, Sawa and the other student council members get aggressive with the students who are suspected couples. Ichika asks Sawa if she was being so aggressive due to personal reasons, which is true, but the latter claims that the principal asked her to be strict. The council gets together to plan for the upcoming school trip. On the other hand, the news about Lovekeeper spreads like wildfire. Ichika overhears bad gossip about Lovekeeper and talks to Ryugo about doing something to stop it. She then gets a message from a couple who claim to be from Catholic families. The couple states that they do not have the money to pay Lovekeeper but want their picture deleted. Ryugo suggests that they help this couple for free, but Ichika does not see it as ideal for their business since they both need money. Meanwhile, during his regular counseling session with Yuki, Asuka talks to her about the idea of falling in love. Yuki gives him some advice that makes him see that he is falling in love with his teacher. On the other hand, Haruto continues to sleep with Ayami in secret. The school trustees meet the principal and warn her about the repeated expulsions. They claim that this was bad for their business, but the principal argues that she needed to stick to the rules as the female students paid a lot more fees than the male students, and the trustees state that she would be held responsible if she continues to dismiss students in this way. Meanwhile, Ryugo is chatting with his friends when he sees his brother going somewhere. He follows him and ends up catching him meeting up with Ayami in the upstairs library and is shocked. He tries to confront his brother that night, but they end up fighting instead, and Mr. Maki intervenes. The fight between the brothers ends with Mr. Maki taking Haruto's side. He goes back to their Lovekeeper hideout and meets Ichika there. Ryugo opens up to Ichika and tells her how his father has been abusive to his mother. Ryugo tells Ichika that he is trying to make money to help take his mother overseas with him. Ichika is touched and invites Ryugo home with her. Ichika shares the story of her mother's dream of wanting her to graduate from the elite school. The two start bonding, and Ichika tells him that she is willing to help the couple for free and messages them. In private, Ichika wonders if she is falling in love with Ryugo. The students go on a school trip, and Atsushi ends up being paired with Ichika. At the same time, Mrs. Kanda meets Chihiro at her workplace and apologizes for having an affair with her husband. At the trip, Atsushi talks to Ichika but realizes that she does not remember meeting him when they were younger. Sawa gets obsessive about catching couples engaging in romance. That evening, Haruto brings Yuki over for dinner. At the same time, the students sneak out of their rooms to watch the fireworks. Ichika watches Ruka and Yuma go out on a walk as the other students play with the fireworks. Ryugo talks to Ichika, and Atsushi watches them from afar. In their room, the girls decide to send messages Ryugo and Asuka. Ichika agrees to play the game and sends a message to Ryugo expecting a response from him. At the same time, Mrs. Maki talks to Ryugo over the phone and informs him about the dinner with Yuki. He gets upset and texts Ayami asking her to meet him. The girls are shocked when they see that Ayami has a text from Ryugo as the episode ends with Ichika feeling embarrassed and heartbroken.